We want to encourage those who want to remain corrupt and steal money, that I beg them. The money should be used to bless our people. Thank you and God bless.
magazine from local country.
So how long have you been selling here?
I've been selling almost 3 years. Not even 3 years, but I can't remember, but almost, yeah, but
But you've been selling here for a long time.
for a very long time.
Yeah, so how was things during President Town?
It was smoothly moving. Oh, small, but for now, shit. As you can see, since the morning, we never even sell one customer.
They will try, they will always fail. You will try, you will always fail. Mr. Yes sir, before you bury CDC, you must juke in my heart, in our heart. Together we die. Before you bury CDC, you must juke in my heart, in our party, in our heart. Before you bury CDC, you must juke in my heart, in our heart. Together we die. Before you bury CDC, you must juke in my heart, in our party, in our heart.
The CDC USA DMV convention
Excuse me, Mr. Yes sir.
comes on the 25th of October.
Mr.
Nations are welcome.
Yeah, me, Mr. Yes sir.
DMV local convention.
Now you getting us, sir.
All of you are welcome.
Mr. Yes sir. After your CS, yeah, you running us, sir. Mr. Yes sir. Is that how you came to rescue?
All right, fellow Liberians, home and abroad, we are sorry. The time. We had a very terrible crash on the R95. I stayed in the traffic for almost 45 minutes. 45 minutes. I was sleeping, sir. Yeah, very terrible stuff. So I'm sorry for coming in late. Well, how are you, sir? How's everything, Chief?
Yeah, Mr. Prince Sharif, my dear brother, I'm okay. Today is Friday, and we say thank God it's Friday. We are here today, you know, to communicate with our people and give them what they deserve to hear. So I'm glad you left the traffic very safe, free, and sound. And we are here to engage. We are here to discuss wide range of issue, ranging from the terrible behavior of the police to kill a peaceful, harmless, and unresisting citizen, be the contradiction report coming from the IMF against the government of Liberia on their lies, misconception, deception, and misrepresentation of the fact, and also other issues that have to do with, I think, other issues that has to do with. Just give me a second. Other issue that have to do with our groundbreaking ceremony. CDC, there is a penny groundbreaking ceremony. So, and of course, the German ambassador has just, admitted that the past government led by Josh Weah and the former foreign minister, they did exceedingly well to secure, Liberia's bid for the non-permanent member of the Security Council.
Yeah.
Those were strives made by past government. This government has failed to recognize efforts made by their predecessor. Instead, they have claimed, they have garmented themselves with victories and achievement that they have little or nothing, input, little or no input. The German ambassador, it was embarrassing during the German day. The German ambassador have to admit and make a deeper reference. So these are things we're going to talk about today, Prince. So we are glad to be on the show. If you are watching on the show, Hawa, Vince Soiree, Fahan Maurice George, Roosevelt Croman, everyone, Diamond, and everyone watching, we say please share our podcast. Share this, let it reach as many audience as possible. Thank you very much, Mr. Prince Sharif.
Thank you so very kindly. Thank you. And again, to just add my voice to the many voices, again, fellow Liberians, we want to say welcome to all of you as usual. Please hit for us the share button, share with friends, share with family members, and we will be good. We will be good. We will be good. Time is of essence and it's not in our favor. So we are going to start strictly, with our discussion. But before that, there are some surface issues that I just want us to just, kind of do some basic housekeeping over before we go to our discussion. are from information that we've gathered. Today we saw it, on the social media, and we highlighted it here, I think, when either yesterday or the day before. But the dirt is taking over the city. The dirt is taking over the city. And there are many people who are worried that if nothing is done, there's going to be a terrible outbreak in Liberia. Remember, during the campaign, we saw the Unity Party at the time, the now MCC boss, Siafa, going all around the place and saying that he is the expert. He can do this thing. He understands how to do it. He knows how to do it, and etc. etc. At certain point in time, we even saw them talking about the issue of Zoom Lion. But from all indication, it's like dirt have taken over the entire Monrovia, to the extent that even a minister in this government, in the Boakai-led administration, could not even hold back his anger, had to come and tell Boakai that, look, Boakai, you are sleeping. You are doing nothing. That is taking over. It took the minister, because it's like the citizen themselves, they've talked on several occasions, and it's like, nothing is happening. And this thing is affecting people. That the minister had to leave his office, came down with phone to call the president attention, not even the MCC boss attention, because from all indication, according to the video that we saw, he said that he contacted other people and they said they have reached out to MCC boss, CFA, and all these other people that have turned blind eyes and closed their ears on the plight of the people. So he had to come down and call on Boakai that Boakai has to wake up. I want to hear from you, Honorable Dobayo. What is the sign? What does that mean for us to see a minister leaving his office and calling on the president? Not even calling on the people who were appointed to do that, but calling on the president. Where are we? I'm sorry, you are muted, sir.
Thank you very
You are muted?
much. Okay.
Okay.
Am I okay now?
Yeah, very okay.
So thank you very much, my dear brother Prince Sharif. When you talk about waste proliferation, it directly falls in my field of study. It directly falls in my life and career. So solid waste and its improper management is a significant issue to cities, significant issue to urbanization, a significant issue to both human and animal health. It's a significant issue to flora and fauna, plants and animal, to our environment. It affects every walk of life. Unregulated dump site, unregulated garbages everywhere is an issue. That has cascading effect. It has long effect on every walks of life. To be very specific, you beyond the economic impact, beyond what you see physically, the indirect consequences, long-term consequences of waste has to do with its effect on our respiratory system, like lungs diseases and lungs cancer, as a result of, when you pass on the road, carriage tree, brush tree, and you inhaling bad smell, it causes some. These are pollutants that causes some irritation to the human body. And if the human body cannot respond to that positively, in the long run, it could lead to respiratory defect and lungs cancer and some infection and vector-borne diseases. So cholera, typhoid, diarrhea, malaria, all of these contaminated garbages could leach into the air surface and end up in our groundwater. When enter in our groundwater and we consume that groundwater over time, it leads to those things that were naming, like the diarrhea, typhoid, and some vector-borne diseases and infections. So it's dangerous even on human health. That was just, on human health, like I was saying again, it can increase people's ability to born children, birth defect, and communicable diseases. And it's just so dangerous. Water pollution, leaching from decomposing waste, it could contaminate ground and surface water, like I said, air pollution, and it has effect again on climate change. Most of our waste in Liberia are plastic waste. Plastic is non-biodegradable. Many plastic it doesn't expire, it doesn't get rotten. When it enters the earth surface, it compromises the soil ability to germinate plants, for plants to grow properly. So the issue about waste proliferation in our country is cross-cutting. It affects all walls of life. And so unsurprisingly, we see a government who they are responsible in terms of the solid waste management. We see a government that understands nothing about waste management and proper waste handling. You got to handle waste in a way that from the generation, from the storage, from the transportation and disposal, you have to be involved very sustainably. But what we see right before you is an embarrassment. What we see right before you is an accident in waiting. What we see right before you is a health hazard issue right before our eyes, and our government is very careless. They said nothing about it. They just talk. They do nothing, Mr. Prince Sharif. So for me as an environmentalist, for me as a waste specialist, I understand the direct and indirect effect of waste. And so the minister, Mark Javate, is the minister for urban, assistant minister for urban affairs. This falls directly within his scope. All municipal government authority directly fall under his authority. I want to tell him to elevate the debate from that level. The essence of being in power is to act. You can be in power and you still be complaining. Mark Jabates and other were those around here who said they have all of the prescription to the problem. So for him to come and be yelling and trying to vindicate himself, for me, it doesn't solve the problem. It only exposes how weak, how myopic, how short-sighted this government is. The government has no prescription for the issues that are facing the people. West, we already started a process in Crusoe field because when time has overlays, live is carrying capacity. And Mayor Morovia, on some other extent of multilateral engagement, he initiated a process, and me from the EPA, but then we were involved into ensuring that a new waste site is being formulated so that waste will be directed there. But this government, they care less. They talk. All they do is just propaganda. To them, leadership is propaganda. Leadership is just about lies. But instead, leadership is just beyond what they think leadership is. You can lie away to power. You cannot lie away to govern. So today, in short, our environment is under threat because all of these polluting, all of these open air defecation on our dump site leading to air pollution will affect our climate. And most of these dump sites, see what you can see some leaching, something like water leaking. These are all methane gases being produced. These methane gases, they can contribute to global warming and land degradation, soil contamination, and loss of the urban characteristic. All urban environment has specific characteristics. This will be lost because our ecosystem will be threatened, and this will lead to plants and animals being killed and loss of biodiversity, and that place will be considered as a dead zone. So in short, it's not healthy, and I hope our government can do better on this one.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dogwayu. Looking at what is happening in Liberia, especially with the issue of dirt, is becoming very concerning. You know that most of our people, they almost like about maybe one would say 50% or maybe 45% of our population, they depend on, somebody would say, borehole. Most of the time, these people use either some kind of well water or well water in the area there, to cook, to do other stuff. Even right in Mosorado County is challenge, especially when it comes to pipe-borne water. And to see the way and manner in which these dirt have been abandoned, then it leads me to the question to ask, where is the government, or what is the strategy that the government has in ensuring that these dirts, are properly disposed? Yesterday, I could remember they were talking about the issue of Zoom Lion, bringing Zoom Lion, as if there are not Liberians who could take over that particular maybe contract and see how best they can be able to, try to clean our city. We saw in the previous government, like you rightly said, We saw the effort of the previous government where there were workers who were almost like 24 hours working to ensure that, the issue of dirt is taken from the streets and taken to where it's supposed to be. Yes, there were challenges, but we saw a frantic effort on the part of the we-led administration under the guardians of, the law mayor, Honorable Jefferson Tambakoji, was the SG. We saw that. But to the extent where, even as we speak, MCC workers are even crying because they've not even received pay yet. They've not received pay. But yet you have CFA who is receiving thousands of United States dollars from billboards and etc. But the workers cannot even take pay. And fellow Liberians, I want to show something here. We have a video here that I want to show, just a few minutes, because time is not in our favor. These are MCC workers who went to the Ministry of Finance to go and protest because the people have been abandoned. People who are supposed to clean the street, people who are supposed to ensure that our cities are adequately maintained and the environment is safe. I will play you a few bars of this video when they went to the Ministry of Finance to go and protest. MCC workers.
So we see you, the people are disenchanted, so you're talking to them.
For you.
You're talking to them, so that's why we're asking.
And the security is even driving them. So let's just listen to a few bars of this. I will carry in front so that
I see you with a lot of people. What is the name?
Is a situation of the last year of 2024, where two different sectors of MCC employees were taken from the payroll, one on the basis of the side account, who's a CSA account, and after the account, some of our colleagues were suing for health issues, other issues, they were in here for the account. When they came back for work, they went to the entity, passed all the process, when they set the solution, not go to CSA. They went to CSA, they all the verification process. So CSA really stated their own payroll, comment that you'll be reinstated on payroll, that was verification. The next aspect is, GSC said they did an audit in 2022, and that audit, some of the SAA staff were attracted from the audit that their account number were all money and all person account number. Because of that, GSC 2024 September instructed CSA to block that the staff account.
Is that BSA?
GSC.
Okay, yeah.
GSC instructed CSA to block the staff account. When the account was blocked for 2 months, after we get through the verification, they were identified that here, the staff was not an issue, the staff was reinstated on payroll. So after 3 months, 5 months, and 4 months, and 2 months, we said, okay, no problem, we are placed up back on payroll. Our 3 months money that we went for, we didn't receive. How can we get it? MCC as an institution said, okay, we'll follow the process. The 8 hour of MCC, there is no more. We follow the process to the mayor. The mayor sent a communication for us to be paid. They are avec the author. 7 April 2025, the communication came here. We can't move from one point to another. So one deputy minister to another.
Now, I'm going to, because of the time, I'm going to remove this. Honorable Dogba, you listening to the workers since 2024. Josiah Joker decided to carry on a process. Whether he was excited because he was appointed as CSA boss, decided that, well, he would do what he wants to do. He was all around the place taking people's name. I mean, workers' name from on payroll and say that they are ghosts. The people not in government, they need not exist. They brought the people from outer space and they put them there. According to this particular video, as I listening to, the brother said that people names who were removed from on the payroll, they were legitimate workers who were working. But because Josiah Joker was in, he's a political zealots. He's not looking at the reality. He jumped up or because he wanted to prove a point that the payroll is blotted with ghost names. He went and took people name from on the payroll, and these people were present. Only to verify it and see that the names that he took from on the payroll, these people were present. They were there. Now it is going to almost 6 months, according to the brother. They've not received their back pay that is supposed to pay them. Even in this month, when you're listening to the video, this year that they've entered, they owe them 3 months. What is happening? Josiah Joker came with this particular zeal, and now we are seeing the trickle-down effect. That the streets are abandoned, the dirt are abandoned. Drivers who are supposed to go to take this dirt, they are also on strike. Where are we, sir?
So you saw from British Africa publication, trying to give a breakdown of the contradiction in both IMF and Ministry of Finance. A few months back, the former Assistant Minister for Development, Brother Benedict Koluba, talked about it on OKFM, and then my dear brother Amos will have a call to put a joker on the spot. Yet, in his arrogance, his professional and arrogance, his desire to prove that he knows everything above everybody, he blatantly refused to correct himself. He wrote a very funny report, lie about the numbers, quantitative inaccuracy. He just made up numbers because he wants to fool his president who doesn't have energy to read. And so you have Joker making a report, lie that in March 2024, 188 employees were removed, and then $112,604.0 was saved. In May to April, he said 507 were removed, 193,236 were saved. Now coming down to all the way October, he said additional 1,539 persons removed. The contradiction there is that IMF in a country report, they said 3,775 employees were removed during the same period, with 4.4 million in total saving, more than twice the amount reported by CSA. So if you're removing more number from the payroll, you should be saving government 4.4 million. But the 4.4 million you say he's saving for government, that should be saved for government, is not reflecting. So he is reporting lower than what should be physical cash available, physical money, if those people that he said were removed were actually removed. This is IMF talking, not me. This is IMF. So since March, civil service, they said they removed 3,775 civil servants from payroll, including 1,539 identified during the verification process of the GSC. Now the remaining unverified citizens will continue to be suspended, blah, 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 blah. So if you say you suspend, you remove these people from payroll, how can the money is not reflecting? How can the money is not being saved? But we all know Joker, or whatever the name is, he's just on showmanship. He got no prescription for the issue in our country. They lied blatantly in campaign against harmonization. They said harmonization was a bad policy. It surprises everyone, even the craziest man in this world. It's surprised how come harmonization was bad. You come and you still using this model of harmonization. Why you can't undo harmonization? Why is the government not increasing people's salary? Government said we didn't have the capacity at the time. Opposition, they said we didn't have the capacity to create jobs and make the private sector vibrant. Those were the arguments that they made. Today, if you have all of the ideas, the technical sophistication and know-how, why don't you expand the government, increase people's salary, make JFK to be on 24 hours, make people to go to school free, everyone got 3 square meal? Why are you running behind poor people, removing them from on payroll, and you got people there to City Hall, they are not taking pay? So everything I'm explaining is a consequence of ineptitude, lies, and deceit. That is the result of lying and lying and lying. Now he are caught up with them with City Hall. And the mayor, they have to be careful. His name was reflected in the U.S. State Department report as a major human rights violator. He is one of the major human rights violators in our country. Alpha Gray and other young brothers who were just at that Moravia City government making ends meet, they were removed illegally, illegitimately, and for no cause. The basis on which they were removed has zero legal bearing. They were only removed because they could not capitulate to the winds and cabarets, to the bad governance style of Mr. Joseph Boakai and his plutocrats. Those were the only crimes they committed. A crime of being, respecting their own constitutional rights under our law. Everyone has the right to associate and disassociate with any group. You cannot subject anyone to buy a myopic, a condescending political ideology and philosophy. Because these young men from City Halls decided to just remain professional, do what they ought to do, they were dismissed. They were chased, beaten. Their knees were removed and they were humiliated by the gentlemen there at the Moravia City Hall. So they have to be careful. The city mayor has to be careful. He needs to clean our streets. Our streets are dirty. They need to pay the people. Pay the people. The people work for their money. Give them their money. Why are you depriving them from living? Your children in America in good schools, these people only want to survive, friends, and you're depriving them from surviving. This is a very serious issue. The Liberian people are listening. Our international partners are listening. And we are challenging the international partners, to challenge this government. In the past, we saw the European Union ambassador making statements all of the time. He said Moravia was filthy. Is Moravia not filthy now? These international biases and selective engagement have to stop. Right now, you see how dirty the city is. Those responsible to clean the city is being deprived of their just hard-earned benefits. Is despicable, is disappointing, and we are going to push and push, and we will ensure that these people obtain their just benefit, Mr. Prince Sharif.
Honorable Dawei, what is even more scaring is that not only the streets that are in a very filthy condition and that the MCC boss has failed to carry on his responsibility, but the very MCC itself, I'm looking for the video here, that particular hall, the hall of the MCC, I think I should have the video here.
The theater, yeah,
That
one
was,
of the theaters, one of the
yeah,
theaters.
one of the theaters.
Guess what?
Let me see if I
How are we the EPA with me? The son of me.
here is the place, one of the theater. This is a place where people used to go under the administration of the Honorable Jefferson Tamakoji. Students will go and they will organize program at this particular theater. The place was lively. But look at this theater under the rescue mission. Look at how the place is looking like. This place that used to be a place that people will want to go for any important event and occasion in Liberia. Look at the place. Look at the theater. You look at this place, my people. You look there. The video that you are looking at currently as we speak is one of the theater of the MCC. Look at that place. How damaged this particular place is. But these were the people that said we could do it all. We know how to do it. We have the technical know-how. Look at this place. A place that was one admirable, that people will go there for different events, international events. Look at how this look at the money that was spent on this particular place. Look at how it's looking like. In less than just 3 years. Look at the MCC theater. Look at this theater. How it's looking like. Fellow Liberian, this is scary for us as a nation. This is not only the MCC, but even look at the park. Look at the parks. I remember when I was in Liberia, we visited those parks and we saw what happened. There were 24 hours workers. Around the clock, people were working 24 hours to maintain those areas. We went there, we saw it. Today, the park is virtually being looted by this particular government. The securities that were there, that were being paid to take care of this park, they sacked all of them. They took them from there. The parks are vulnerable. A friend of mine was telling me just a few days ago, he said, Prince, the PHP Park, that place there where everybody will want to go. Everybody in Liberia will want to go to that PHP Park. He said, Prince, the PHP Park now is almost like a drug hall, a hub for where, drugs dealers will go in the evening, where they will go in the evening to transact their businesses. The place is now unsafe. The place is unkept. Can you imagine? And these were people who told us that they've come to rescue. They know how to do it. They have the technical know-how. They can do it better than the CDC-led government. They can do it better than any other person. But today, look at what we are seeing. Josiah Joker came and said the payroll, it was blotted. And they will remove names. But to our greater surprise, it will surprise every one of you that I thought when you take name from on the payroll, you say you're reducing name. And the wage bill is supposed to reduce because you're reducing the name from on the payroll. But imagine these people are according to them, they say they're taking up ghost name. But the payroll or the wage bill, it continue to go high above. It continue to go high above. Then this will make you to ask yourself the question, where the money going? Because according to them, or according to what they're saying, even though there is a contradiction, CSA is reporting one thing and the IMF is reporting one thing. But let's even agree as per what they are saying, the propaganda that the Unity Party is carrying on. Oh, we're taking ghost need for on payroll. So when you take ghost need for on payroll, what's supposed to happen? And the payroll, my people, for example, if you get 20%, they say out of the 20%, 10 there that ghost need, they now exist. And you're supposed to get more money. And how it's supposed to be? The people then supposed to get more money, or you're supposed to keep more money. But then let's ask ourselves, with all the so-called quote-unquote names they say they're removing from there, the wage bill continue to claim up. You know why I claim it up? Because these people are rescuing themselves. Not you and I. No, they're not rescuing us. So the excess that they are having, that's what the people sharing. That's what they're giving to themselves. That's why you see they are using the money as if, they're leaving tomorrow. So let's just loot, let's steal and move on. This is scary for us, fellow Liberians. The country is completely dirty. The city is completely dirty. You have John Siafa will be sitting there and think that this thing is a joke. Can't even pay the people. He can't pay them. But you will find people like Josiah Joker then, when they stand, they will talk all kind of garbage. You will find people like, Daniel Sando. They will go on a sacred platform that is supposed to be propagating government agenda, government policy. They will go there and use that place as a cursing center to start cursing people. Oh, yeah. They will go there and start cursing people. Use that particular sacred platform and start to insult people. Fellow Liberian, this is scary. This is terrible. Our streets are filthy. And my fear is, like Honorable Doba, you were saying, if we are not careful, there is going to be an outbreak of any kind of waterborne diseases in that place there. Already, we are challenged with the system.
I see my man Dillon, Oliver Dillon. He's a friend of mine, very, very good friend of mine, to be honest. He wrote right here, he said, Ronald Dubai, you my good friend and brother. You were right here in Morovia when your party chairman Molu had a press conference asking the Minister of Transport to remove me from the post because I am not sedition. That I mean, that's Molu party chairman. Those are all perception and lies. You were never removed from the Ministry of Transport anyway. You remain there. You stay there. You one of the guys who I can vouch for you. You were not in past government, but you very diligent and professional, Oliver. But you say somebody wanted to remove you, but what you removed, that's the argument. So we can prove that he wanted to intend, and it happening, are two different scenarios. The argument here is your government has come on the metro of rescue. Your brother, my own friend Delon, was one of those who campaigned on rescue. They said no business as usual. Assuming I admit that your argument is right, as soon as what Moru did. So is it a measurement for good governance? Because it happened yesterday. So You guys are only here on comparison venture. Let's assume now what happened in Dillon. You know, you somebody I really respect because you are very professional. You're one of the best public servants in Liberia, regardless of your support to CDC or night. And beyond you, there are a few other young gentlemen that I can praise. And you're one of those brothers, you know, but given who you are, given your love for Liberia, is that a measurement? Is that an indicator of good governance? You said because Dillon did it and because Modu did it. Let's assume our admitting Modu did that. And Modu was wrong, quote unquote. He was wrong. If he did that, does that give any justification of your government lying about removing people from on payroll and it's not corresponding with the money being saved? Is that the reason why the government should be embarrassed and the government care less about paying people? The streets are filthy and dirty. Is that why young Liberians at City Hall should be removed from payroll? So where is the change, Mr. Dillon? Where is the change that we all talk about? Where is that element of change? Where is the wisdom that you told me was in Ome Boakai? So if we keep leading our country on a path of divorce, where are we going? I thought gray hair comes with maturity, wisdom, and tolerance. Where is that tolerance component and elements of old age? So are you validating that what is happening is true? So it has to happen because we did it. So you have to do it. Is that an indicator of good governance? Is that how you measure good governance, my dear brother Oliver P. Dillon? We say a resounding no, indicatively, a resounding no. You cannot, there's not a Hammurabi or law. We say eye for an eye. Going on the old days, we know that did not happen. You are still at the Ministry of Transport. You were never dismissed. But let's assume that what happened. Let's assume for the sake of your argument that what happened. Is that why you were elected? Was that the hidden definition of rescue that we did not know? That was not what you told us, Mr. Dillon. So if you were removed as you are just beating my brother, then that was unfortunate. But are you telling me because you were removed, so others should be removed, Dillon? Is that what you are telling me, my dear brother? We said, no. Crimes are not transferable. Those brothers that have been removed today were not the ones who removed you, except you want to tell me crimes are transferable. Crimes are not transferable. We live in a civilized world. People who voted Boakai did not campaign that he's coming to remove people from payroll. He said he's coming to rescue. People being removed from payroll were termed as bad governance yesterday by you. So if you come back and do the single, so what was the fundamental essence of change? So it was never about change. It was all about chance. You are telling you only wanted chance to execute what you are executing right now. You're telling me you only wanted a space to lead not consistent with the tenets of democracy, but inconsistent with the liberal tenet of democracy. You're not leading consistent with, good governance, the principles of good governance. That's not why you are leading. You've only come because you want to ride convoy. Say the president's convoy, Mr. Prince Sharif. Are you telling me because CDC did that? Boakai, when he was just an ordinary citizen, former vice president, he had about 4 to 5 guys. At the time, he was very vulnerable. Nobody touched him. Today, he's president. His convoy alone from here all the way Kumatan in Grandjide. Very long from here all the way Kumatan in Grandjide. Who really wants to harm this man that he's going to purchase a customized Lexus vehicle that costs 1.2 million United States dollars? That money alone can be used to build factory. The egg factory is saying producing in Bomi. Nobody knows where it is. But the 1.2 million he took to buy that vehicle, you know how many jobs it can create, how many additional people he can put on the payroll, how many baby mothers will not be sent home because they don't have money to give self-delivering at JFK. How many dialysis machines can be bought so that people do not have to go Ghana and other places to do their kidney dialysis. How many buses can be purchased in Liberia so that people will commute, in a way that they will not be stressful. How many additional schools can be built in the entire Western region. The only serious hospital there is the Emory Hospital. It has no medication. People still having miscarriage while going to hospital. Children are still going to school walking. No, they don't eat. 3 square meal is not provided for kids. At the end of the day, it affects their cognitive, it affects their ability to learn. When children not eat in America and other places, the reason why they provide 3 square meal, because when children eat, when people have the required nutrients in their body, their ability to learn is so hard. The reasons why we are failing in WAEC is because we don't have food in our school. Instead of Mr. Boakai looking after these things, he's purchasing luxurious vehicle for a very long convoy. The last time you were going Banga, like the days of Taylor, while you were still in rehab, they convoy all the way to Carrisburg. I mean, the people were stopped from moving. There was no movement while you were still in rehab. You know, the reincarnation, the reemergence of the days of Malaysia when we were in Liberia 97, 98. So, Mr. Oliver DeLong, are you telling me that was the definition of rescue, my dear brother? You know I respect you a lot. You are a dearest friend of mine. But for you to come on this podium and say, because Molu did that, so you are doing it. Assuming why I'm admitting that what happened, is that a justification? Is that an indicator of good governance?
Thank you.
We say no, and I will conclude here and welcome our dear brother Eddie. You know,
Sure.
Eddie was not here the first day. Eddie is one of the brains behind this Redemption Hour. We'll get Eddie the chance to introduce himself. Eddie is one of the guys who's going to be frequent yet. And so when you see Eddie, you know you see everyone. So, brother Eddie, you now have the stage to introduce yourself. The last time you came a little late. I know how the West is challenging, but the flow is all yours right now, Eddie Estrabaye. You on mute. Eddie, you on mute.
Thank you, Randall. And I'd like to say thanks to Mr. Sharif and thanks to all of our incoming panelists for this very great platform. It's important that we share this kind of intellectual discourse to awaken our public, our people, about the diabolical attempts and the diabolical actions of the Unity Party government. The Unity Party government, the misrules, the Janjaweed of leaderships have led our country to what it is today. We are frustrated and disappointed. But again, my name is Eddie Trawale. As everyone may know, I'm the National Vice Chairman for Political Affairs of the Youth League, and I'm excited and ecstatic to be one of our co-hosts on these very, very big platforms. This is a platform that is very informative, that is very educative, and is worth listening to. Because men who has the poise and the intellectual capacity are then opportune to converge on this one umbrella to dispel the rumors and misinformations, to unleash the undiluted facts to the Liberian people, that the manner and functions in which Mr. Boakai and his gang of criminals, his gang of thieves, are proceeding with the country must be erected. I was astonished and disappointed when I saw the video yesterday with a mental ill man was gunned down, face gunned down, with more than 8 bullets to eliminate his life by the instructions of Mr. Gregory Kumon and Mr. Boakai. It reminded me about the days of Mr. Taylor. It reminded me about the days of the 1980. It reminded me about the days of the 1989. It reminded me about the days of the 2003 war, where we experienced the gross assassinations and executions of Liberians, instigated and organized by Mr. Gregory Commons, Mr. Boakai, and the rest of the other rebel leaders that is in the Unity Party government. Labrona have retrogressed. I'm a professional criminal justice practitioner. By professions, I'm a criminal justice actor. I'm a paralegal. I read criminal justice up to the highest level, the highest standard. I got a bachelor's in criminal justice. I worked within the criminal justice cycle for more than 5, 7 years. I also obtained a master's in criminal justice. I'm not doing another master's in criminal justice policy reform proceedings at Penn State University. So I know how law enforcement operate. I know how we're supposed to operate in terms of the executions of order and the dispense of law enforcement responsibility. First and foremost, the police have cardinal responsibility. is to protect life and property. This fundamental responsibility of the police should not be abrogated by whatever mandate and form. It should not be abrogated. In an instant case, if a person is mentally ill, if a person is mentally ill, if you read on criminology, it will tell you that a man who lacks the mentions in corporea sane, the mental capacity to comprehend right or wrong, cannot be held liable for his action. Simply because he lacks the comprehension, he lacks the capacity to know the difference between good, bad, right, or wrong. He lacks that capacity. So the doctrines of criminology says that in that situation, he or she cannot be held liable. So what criminology does? Criminology brought in psychologists. There's a man, one of the major psychologists in criminal justice analysis reform is called Emmett Duncan. He's a sociologist and a psychologist as well. He say he say an increase in propensity gave rise to social ill. A criminal behavior is a necessary social behavior. These actions are necessary in society for us to identify the ambiguity of how society are run. But now to the situations. Under the situations, the man is mentally ill. Mental ill person must not be held liable. What do you do in a situation as a criminal justice practitioner and a law enforcement actor? There are steps in which you proceed in dealing with that kind of situation. One, you must use the methodology of persuasions. If that person is mentally insane and his actions is counterclocks to law enforcement processes or is detrimental to society, you use a persuasion proceeding. You try to persuade him. If you cannot persuade him as a law enforcement person, because in more instant case, police officer may appear more dangerous in the face or the minds and ideas of a mental ill personnel, a mental ill person. So if you cannot use that medium as a police officer to persuade him, you bring in psychologists. You bring in psychologists. You bring in religious people. You bring in a reputable and dignifiable people in the community to talk to him so that he could be able to listen to these. I mean, every mental ill person has some way of soft spot. So he will be able to listen in that process. You did not do that as a law enforcement practitioner. You went in to ensure that you use force that was not proportionate. In criminal justice, there are varieties of force as a law enforcement practitioners to execute. In order to implement a law enforcement instruction or law enforcement operation, you must understand the kinds of force to use. The force must be proportional. If a man has a rock and you have a gun, that force is not proportional. It's not proportional at all. It's excessive. If a man have a knife and you have a gun, that force is not also proportional. It's also excessive. It's excessive. So you cannot be using gun when a man get knife. In more instant case, a situation where the man is mentally insane, that person is incapacitated, mentally incapacitated. You have too many law enforcement strategies to ensure that you can de-escalate and eliminate the threat. One of the strategies you use as a professional law enforcement and practitioner is to have pepper spray. You have the pepper spray. If you think that a man is dangerous and violent, you use the pepper spray to eliminate the threat. That's one. If you think that the pepper spray is not strong enough, sufficient enough to eliminate the threat, you use water candle. You use the water candle. If you know very well that the water candle is not strong enough to eliminate the threat, you also use electrical taser. Electric taser. You tasing. There are some taser is very powerful enough that you can eliminate the threat immediately. And that's why in America, more professional law enforcement practitioners use taser. Guns is the last resort. To use gun on a peaceful citizen and a surveillant and a mental ill person is the last resort in law enforcement. Is the last resort in law enforcement. You cannot use gun as a means of a final result. And if you're using gun, the law says that your action must be proportional to that of the actions of the suspect in questions. To that of the actions of the suspect in questions. The mental ill guy is not a suspect. He's mentally insane. He needed a psychological persuasions to put in perspective. But Mr. Gregory Como, as being unprofessional, brutal, and irresponsible he is, he eliminated the man. He gave a clear directions to get the man executed. The police must get account. Mr. Boakai must get account of their actions. Mr. Boakai and Gregory Como must get account of their actions. The worst thing to this situation, Mr. Gregory Como, he played a absolute mockery of the Liberian people and the family of the deceased. He went to do what we call a candle program for people who are alive. How will you do that? Law enforcement practitioner who are alive, and you went to do a candlelight visions. That is wrong. That is a mockery. That is extravagance of justice. That is illegal. And the Liberian people need to know exactly how the Unity Party government is proceeding with this country. Liberia
Thank
need to
you.
know.
Thank you so much, Honorable Tola. Thank you so much. Honorable Dobayu, this is becoming concerning. There are laundry lists of police brutality where most often the victims are unalive. And like Honorable Torali said, the forces that are used by the police is completely not even proportional with what is even happening. Somebody on a tree is smoking cigarette. Policemen go there with gun. He fire, boah. Somebody standing or he talking. He calls police officer. Police go there, yeah, he fire. This is becoming concerning. According to the information, this brother was not a threat to even his household. He was in his room. There's a 1 minute video here. I think a 1 minute. I want to play this video, and then on Obuduga, you will come in with this. This is it. He was in his room. Here's the video. Now, according to the information, this brother was in his house. I listened to what one of his, I think, sister or so, or relative of his was saying, that this is something that always happened to him. Usually when it happens, they just leave him, allow him to be, rest himself. After a few days or after a week, he comes, he become okay, and then he move on. And according to what the girl explained, when they went to the police, was not to come and use any force, was to persuade him so that they can take him to the mental health hospital or clinic or wherever. But unfortunately, they didn't know that they were calling executioners to come and take away his life. Thinking that they were going to the police, people who are well trained to be able to handle this situation, they have all of the requisite knowledge to be able to de-escalate whatever threat that will be there. Unfortunately, they didn't know that they were calling executioners. Honorable Dobayu, in this case, with all of the police brutality that you have been seeing, what is the signal that this thing is sending to the population?
So the signal is very clear and glaring. When my dear brother Eddie is on, I don't like to talk criminal justice matters. He has absolute advantage. In economy, they get something called comparative advantage and absolute advantage. And I don't pretend that I have, certain knowledge that I do not have. But from a preliminary standpoint, as a nationalist, as a thinker, as a reader, as a man with idea, right? I have done research. I was in the law school very briefly. So I understand preliminary, legal issues, and I got common reasoning. So I sent you first a video. I wanted you to play that video. This girl called her name is Peter Bronsky. She is the daughter of the Councillor Charles Walker Bronsky, brother, and she is a baby mother to Moba. The reason I know Peter well, she and me were in Grand Judea together. We were in St. Philomena, and then we came to Morovia at some point in time. We were in FNRE before I could go Cathedral. This brother in question, his Yanni is Bebe. I know him very, very well. During the war, the same car that took me from Grand Judea during the war, was a SIM card that took him
I
from
just
there.
want to say something.
So when you're ready, we play it if you
Yeah, no, you
are
can play
ready.
it. So I just want to tell you that I
All right.
know this family. I know them very well. I know this
Your
gentleman.
officers going to arrest.
Okay, so I'll play this.
Yeah.
I just want to say something to the RG. Your officers going to arrest or help a mental ill person. And the patient is saying, I don't want to go to hospital. I want to go to church. Me as a professional nurse, patient has right. He was not a threat to nobody to where he stays. I'm even surprised and ashamed of the police RG to say that Matthew was a suspect. He didn't steal from nobody. He didn't kill. He was not selling drugs. He was only a sick man, needed God and not mental health and a police officer to shoot him 8 times in his stomach. But Mr. RG, we got more evidence to show. So you got to keep going and be explaining how it all happened. Because when you went on the scene, you was told that this man was mentally ill. But instead, you refer to him as suspect. That was somebody's father. That was somebody's son. You go to a mental ill person, you got to be calm. You got to be polite. You got to do everything in your power to convince that person to go with you. You can't force the patient. The way he was living, he been sick almost 3 weeks. He was not causing problem. He was not entering people's rooms. He was not stepping on people's toes. Yet instead, with all his distress, he went to church. Did the police even ask those questions?
Wow.
Shoot somebody down? And saying the police officer that had a cut behind his arm here saying that the way I shooting, if he even survived, then his man prayer strong. But you should pray that your man on prayer be strong, Mr. Officer. Because you will no longer be a police officer. Having a weapon, it shouldn't be misused. You couldn't pepper spray the patient. You couldn't tear gas the patient. Or really assume that he was violent. You couldn't fire his foot. The rule of engagement said you must fire him in the chest, in his arm, and every part of his body 8 times. That was very unprofessional.
Prince,
And I promise God,
Okay.
it will not go.
So this is a girl who is not a law enforcement person. She's a nurse with common sense. And almost everything Eddie said in the circumference of criminal justice was what she was repeating, quoting the rules of engagement, the law of proportionality, the law of insanity, right? Under the law, even if I go in my room and I meet a man under my wife, and then I just grab a knife and juke that man, I will go scot-free because the intent of going in that room is to kill. But when I saw a man under my wife, I can plead temporary insanity. Even though I'm sound, but at that moment, I was not thinking right. So let's look at the condition, because you asked me what is the police thinking and what is the public thinking. What the police thinking or what the girl just said. It is a preconceived man intent to kill to prove that they are men. You shoot somebody 8 times, that's motive. 8 times, that's motive. Shoot to kill. At point blank. Now, this guy in question, baby, like I know him to be, we told that, they say he almost 5+ malaria. At that level, it's a cerebral malaria. And cerebral malaria, we all know is a life-threatening neurological complication. And this is mostly caused by Plasmodium, what we call falciparum, Falciparum. It's a falciparum parasite, from Plasmodium that causes the cerebral malaria. And it is a medical condition that can lead to coma, seizure, and long-term disability, or even death. So this particular cerebral malaria occurs when the parasite, is affected by the P in the falciparum circulation in our red blood cell. So the sequencer in the macrovascular part of the brain, when it's affected, is what leads you to getting this particular type of malaria. So this can cause a premeditated protein to just circulate around the surface of the red blood cell, and in the end it causes a stick to the lining around the red blood cell, making you to feel that unusual. So the part of the brain that's supposed to be responsible to make sense, to be judgmental, that part can be tempered away because there can be vessel blockage and a lot of inflammation and clotting of the blood vessel, and it can impair your blood flow, leading to hypoxia and some other condition in the body that can lead to an inflammatory response. So when this happens, that person under that condition is not a normal person. So under the law of insanity, under criminal justice, that person, the way you deal with them is quite different. Like Eddie brilliantly articulated, it's quite different. So Mr. Aji, this guy, his friends, they put money together to go and carry him, but because of his posture, his non-compliance, they decided to call you. Mr. Police, you got gun. That gun is purchased by taxpayer money. You bear the flare and the seal. These are the symbolic, these are the symbols, the insignia of our state, the symbol of our sovereignty. You bear them. He who to whom much is given, much is expected. So what we saw in response to your question is a police that has consumed themselves with the mindset of retaliation. Retaliating because a few days ago, one of the police officers was accidentally killed. The police went to court and said murder. So somebody killed with somebody with car accident in the traffic, you call that murder. But you who came and shoot somebody 8 times, what is that? Just tell me, Eddie, the police is arguing that the killing of the officer was a murder. But now the police has gone to shoot somebody 8 times. Somebody who is handcuffed. You know that the man died and handcuffed on his hand? The man died and handcuff was on his hand. So at what point was this man violent? At what point was Bebe? He's called mobile, but I know him to be Bebe because I grew up knowing him as Bebe. So I will keep calling him Bebe. At what point was this guy violent? Handcuff on his hand. He's been restrained. It's one of the tactics Eddie's talk about to restrain people. There are several isolation methods. There's a hierarchy of control when you're dealing with people who are mentally not stable. So you got to deal with it. Under the hierarchy of control, the last resort is the weapon Eddie talked about. So we have a police that is very untrained, a police that is very brute, that is very uncivilized, a police with a mindset. During the time of CDC government, Patrick Asudu initiated the theory and doctrine of democratic policing, where the police should see citizens as citizens and civilians, interact with them, give them food when they are protesting, make them friendly. It's also a component of community policing, right? This government feel like we were weak, we were not sophisticated. They have the prescription to the liberating people because they believe liberating people are fire for fire. So it is a political authority, a mindset given them by Joe Boakai. Mind you, Joe Boakai was the guy who said if he didn't win the election, the country will come to an end. Dillon was the guy who said he would throw stone at George Weah convoy. Nyombri Kanga Lauren, who's the protein, was the lady who took hot water and was there on side Joseph. So the police of today, they are working with a violent group of leaders, and so because they believe their leaders will condone their terrible behavior, so they don't care. That is what you see today. That is the function of what you see today. When you have a police working for people who don't care, the police will be don't care.
Honorable Trawale, this is something that I am really thinking about, like many other Liberians. The police should be that go-to person for any civilian, whether that person is a criminal or an accused, whatever he is. That person should be running to the police for safety. They should look at the police as the first line of their own defense, their own protection. But with all of these things that is happening, the massacre in Kinjor, scores of police brutality that have led to, citizens losing their life. What is the consequence that this is going to have on our democracy, on our peace, on our security, and on even the people's behavior? Because some of these things, they have a trickle-down effect on how people respond to the police, even if the police is in their interest. But with the way the police is proceeding of recent in this period of 2 years, that they have just changed, that's 360-degree turn that they have made. What is going to be the dire consequences on our democracy, on our peace, and the people trust for law enforcement?
So personally, as I speak to you, the community dwellers and the citizens have lost confidence in policing, in law enforcement. They don't trust law enforcement. So with that mindset and mentality of citizens in terms of public safety, the country becomes more brutal, the country becomes ungovernable, the country becomes laws and rules unto themselves because citizen does not have guaranteed in the safety of policing. I wrote a paper of recent, and in my paper, I suggested that when Joseph Boakai shall have exited the political corridor, Liberia would need a absolute criminal justice reform, a complete criminal justice reform, before the citizens and the public can get confidence and trust. Every sector and facets of our criminal justice systems have been broken down by the government. Mr. Gregory Coleman has successfully destroyed the trust and confidence of the public to approach the police. Right now, if you were to hear an armed robbery case in your community, you'll be afraid to call the police because your mindset and mentality could be that the police will use an unreasonable force and unprofessional ethics being exhibited to even kill the victim, to even kill the victims of the happenings, because the police are unprofessional, unethical, and uneducated. For example, Randa Dubai make mention that the police directors and the police said that the accident case that led to the death of one of the police officers was premeditated, was a murder, was a crime. That is unprofessional. First and foremost, accident under the law is an infraction. It's not a crime. When a man make an accident, he did not premeditate to go have an accident. And to establish the culpability of his actions, it requires a lot of criminal investigations. There are details. The police cannot already say that the accident that happened, it was a crime. This guy premeditated and killed somebody. It was a crime. To educate the law enforcement personnel and Mr. Gregory Coleman, accident is not a crime, it's an infraction. And to establish the culpability of the actions is to go details in criminal investigation. It's not to make a blanket statement and irresponsible comments that the accident that happened that led to the death of one of your officers was as a result of criminality. No, it was not as a result of criminality because you have not established the matters of full thought. To establish crime, there are three basic elements that requires: the matters of full thought, the mens rea, and the autos rea requirement. That means the guilty mind and the guilty act. That means the person must go and plan that they are going to commit crime. And after finishing planning their actions, they must go and execute their plans. Then you can establish that the actions is considered as a crime. Other than that, when one of the lacking of one of those elements, you cannot consider the actions as a crime. So the police were being unprofessional and irresponsible in the comment. And Mr. Gregory Coleman have destroyed the system. There must be a complete criminal justice reform. When Mr. Boakai exited the political corridor, President Weah has a lot of responsibility. He got a lot to do. A complete criminal justice reform will be required to ensure that our law enforcement can gain confidence from the public. And one of the things that the public will need, and Mr. Weah will have to do, is intensive community policing strategy are very important in these processes. We have to rebuild confidence with the citizens have to regain their confidence
Okay.
of law enforcement because the citizen does not trust the law enforcement. But let's go back to the scenario of the guy who died. The first and foremost is that as a law enforcement practitioner, a professional law enforcement practitioners, an ethical law enforcement actors, before you exert any force, you must understand the terrain and scenario of the actions. There must be what we call investigative assessment. You must investigate the environments. You must do a complete assessment about the scenario. You must have a preliminary details of the happenings of what the crime scene that you're going to. There was no crime scene that was being exhibited. That's number one. Number two, the person in question was mentally ill. It's a mental health personnel. Police must use your tactics. For a law enforcement practitioner to use force, the force must be reasonable enough. The force must be reasonable enough. And in criminal justice, they categorize the reasonability of force. One, the force must either be proportionate or the force must be reasonable in the context of authority dynamics. In the context of authority dynamics, that means you must have absolute authority over the situation. In an instant case, to discharge weapon as a law enforcement practitioner on a mental health person was wrong, was illegal. The police went with a full intent to kill. They went with malice of full thought to kill and execute citizen, peaceful citizen. How will you be executing a mental? How will you kill a mental health person by using more than eight bullets on a mental health person? I make mention. Number one, you must be very, very much, very, very much a psychologist. You must be able to de-escalate the situation by using influence. By using influence, verbal command, give verbal mandate. Let's assume that the person in question has a knife or a stick or a colax. A law enforcement practitioner, a professional law enforcement practitioner must be very psychologist. You must be a psychologist. You must get a verbal command, give instruction. I'm asking you now to put the knife or the gun down. I'm giving you instruction. Put the knife or the gun down, sir. Give instruction. This man is mentally insane. He cannot listen to verbal directions. What do? You use other non-lethal weapon, non-lethal instrument to de-escalate and have the situation on your attention. Greg Como got all of these de-escalation methodology, all these weapons. They got pepper spray. He got pepper spray. He could pepper spray that guy and they use the security tactics to have the mental health guy under restraint. You will restrain him and have him under police custody. If you don't want to use pepper spray, you can also use what we call tear gas. You tear gas in, you also have it under control. But in most instant cases, tear gas can use in a big public riot or a big gathering and so on. If you don't want to use that, you also use what we call electric taser. You tasing. You got all these mechanisms. Why will you use gun? Why will you use gun on a mental health person? So the actions of the police was illegal, was well calculated. It has a malice of full thought. The police must be held accountable for their actions. The guy who murdered the police officer must be prosecuted. He must be brought to justice. He must be prosecuted. He has no legal grounds, no legal standing to shoot at the police, at the mental health person. But not only that, the law enforcement, like I said, the law enforcement in general have been broken down. DEA, an escalation of increase in drugs. DEA personnel are fighting all over. In fact, the hierarchies of leadership, they've been fighting since Mr. Boakai took powers. The insertions of Mr. Boakai government, all the leadership of the DEA, the law enforcement, the Justice Enforcement Agency have been in physical altercation. They've been fighting for drug money.
Thank you.
Liberating National Police. The system have been broken down. The system is being more political than law enforcement. Mr. Gregory Como is one of the chief propagandists of Mr. Boakai. He's a leading propagandist of the Unity Party. He's not exhibiting a professional law enforcement operation. He's there to do propaganda. Dance according to the whims and caprices of the Unity Party and Mr. Boakai. Let's look at the issues of rape. There was an allegations of rape on a seated minister of government. Under the law, when a person is accused of rape, the law says that person must be held under custody of the law enforcement agency. Police. Police must have you under the authority. The police have 48 hours. In the process of 48 hours, the police are on duty to process you. It is not the police responsibility to determine to establish the culpability of the crime. They don't have that authority to establish the culpability of the crime. They don't have that authority to establish guilt. If a person is accused of rape, the law says that the victim comes and report the situation to the police. The police do the preliminary investigations. In the police preliminary investigation, the suspect in question must be arrested. You will be arrested within the space of 48 hours. Once you are arrested in the space of 48 hours, you will be processed to the court. It is the court and the Ministry of Justice through prosecution that are on obligation to establish the culpability of the crime, to establish guilt, to determine whether the person actually committed the actions or the lie. Thankfully to us that Mr. We are on president, we are government, we brought in DNA machine. So the issue of rape is not verbal thing. Nothing people will just say somebody raped me. To rape somebody, you got to establish what we call the spermatozoa proceeding. The Boakai swab, the assessment of the collections and preservations of evidence must be conducted. Did the police ever went and do what we call collections of evidence? Did they execute the Boakai swab theory? No. The police is more political. And I listen to Mr. Gregory Como that they are not getting any prima facie to establish any arrest. Are you kidding me, Mr. Gregory Como? When the victim is visible, when there are medical reports that have established that this person has been tampered with, family member have a test, that evidence have been proven that this guy actually tampered with the victim. Do you need additional information to get the culprit under custody of the police and processing to the court? Why Mr. Gregory Como being so political? Why have he left his the professional arena of law enforcement, have won the gamut of won the political gamut in the country of Unity Party? So police, the entire law enforcement agency in our country would need an absolute reform, a complete criminal justice reform to gain confidence of the Liberian people. And it is cogent unto President Weah. Upon your return, President Weah, you need to do a cataclysmic assessment of professional criminal justice practitioners and law enforcement actors. You must come to be able to clean the system. The system is messed up. The system is absolutely messed up. From immigration to fire service, from fire service to DEA, from DEA to NSA. NSA is West. Can you imagine an NSA personnel telling a citizen, I'm an NSA personnel? The chief intelligence agency of our country announcing themselves. Do you know the responsibility of an NSA personnel? A covert. The NSA personnel must be covert. You're unidentified. You're on covert operation to collect information on espionage and clandestine. Collect those information, compile those information, and provide a prima facie for the executions of arrest. Not to be involved into political cases. Political cases. The NSA personnel now torturing people on political cases. The country is destroyed. Law enforcement is destroyed.
Thank you so much.
There must be an absolute criminal justice reform.
Thank you.
The police,
the
court, and the corrections.
Sure.
Because the court is being even political these days. I listen to the Chief Justice making a political comment that violates the code of conduct. A Chief Justice, a man who everybody's supposed to run to, making political comment that is completely contradictory to the code of conduct. Why is it that the president cannot employ his son or a family member? Why is it that the Chief Justice should not employ his family member?
Sure.
Directly into the ministry of the responsibility.
Thank you so much, Honorable
It's
Trial.
because there are code of conduct that guide us in terms of how we do employment. There are other citizens.
Thank you so much. It's like
as a Chief Justice, your family benefit indirectly.
Sure.
Your family benefit indirectly. If a son of professional man, he go in the private sector. He can work in the private sector without your influence. But the systems have been broken down. So there must be an absolute cleanup within law enforcement.
Thank you.
Absolute cleanup from the police to the court, from the court to corrections. It must be absolute cleanup.
Thank you.
Absolute cleanup. Because Mr. Gregory Como have clearly demonstrated that the police is a partisan police. No
Thank you
law
so
and
much.
order, no details of professional law enforcement ethics. The police code of conduct have been absolutely trashed in the gutter, is non-existent. Gregory Coleman does not think, he don't care, because the intent is to witch hunt and destroy the system. And so, Mr. Prince Sharif, we are on an obligation as Mr. Weah will be taking over this country. It will take Mr. Weah some time to have a absolute cleanup in terms of law enforcement. The citizen will have confidence.
Thank you.
And for the
Thank you.
citizen to have confidence, you need to build, you need to identify those professional criminal justice actors to begin to go in the community and do it. Reawakenings, community policing. The community policing is very important. It's calling out in reforming our systems. In reform, and there are strategies for community policing. I'm not going to say on this line before Mr. Gregory Como is element take that strategy and other things. They are unprofessional. There are
Yeah.
strategies and tactics in regaining the confidence of the citizens. But they have
Thank you
lost
so
that.
much.
And we will
Thank
do that when Mr. Weah take over.
thank you so much, Honorable Trial. Thank you so much for outlining it the way you did it.
You
That
meet
the
your prince?
simple. Hello? Are you are you getting me? Hello? Hello?
We're getting you. We're
Hello?
getting you.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So thank you for the way you outlined it. Honorable Dobayu,
I'm
I
not
want us to
getting
look
him.
at this issue of you not getting me? Hello? You, you're not getting me? Okay, so if you are not getting me, just go and come back on. You will definitely get, yeah. So we want to look at this issue of the October 18 groundbreaking ceremony. As you may be aware, the CDC will be having her groundbreaking ceremony on the 18th of October. Tell us, why is this program so significant? Why is it important that Liberians the world over need to pay attention to this particular program?
Thank you very much. So, uh, it's historic. Other than the Chewy Party, the reason why this is important, other than the Chewy Party, the CDC will be the first and only political party that will be breaking down for the construction of its own headquarters. CDC pretty much is a new party established just right after the war in 2004. So this year makes us 11 years, Mr. Prince Sharif. So the other parties around that have been around for over 40 years, for example, the Unity Party, they still reign in a very tight space. Even though they use the law against what the law said, they use the police and they illegally, rent us out of the home that we had legitimate entitlement to based on the fact that we pay rent. But we saw that failure, we saw that disappointment as an opportunity to secure our own land, and before the rightful eyes of everyone, partisans around the world, citizens, poor, rich, middle class, sympathizer, independent, and even some minor Unity Party people have contributed. And so what we are doing on the 18th is to go and tell Liberians all around the world, thank you. What they thought they were setting to disgrace us, what they thought they were doing to humiliate us, what they thought they were doing to look down upon us and make mockery out of us, we use this as a conduit of opportunity. We use it as a pathway to open opportunity and be much more innovative. Sometimes suppression, sometimes a disappointment can lead to innovation. People saw alternative way of living during the COVID. People had different way of doing things. That's how Zoom and other platforms, TikTok, they were established during the COVID. So sometimes some disappointment, some circumstances can lead you to innovation. It can build your resilience and give you the courage to forge ahead, not to look at where you fell down, but look at where you stumbled your toes. So on 18th of October, we are converging as a people to groundbreak. The frame has been hired for the construction of that project. We are going to groundbreak in the calendar year of about one year, in the calendar period of about 1 year. We are exceedingly optimistic that that building will be erected, it will be finished, and it will be dedicated for the Liberian people, for seditions that have paid their money, for independents that have contributed. So that is why the 18 program is necessary. We're asking Liberians, sedition, to gather in Concord Town around the RC law scene to go and celebrate a new dawn. Celebrate that in your generation, you've contributed to the building of a headquarters. We're not going to be hanging anywhere again. We're going to have our own headquarters owned by sedition. The D is in our possession right now. It has our name. It has been probated in the probate code of Maserati. So it's something we need to celebrate because we are the first political party, other than Chewy Party, that will be constructing our headquarters from groundbreaking level to the finishing level, Mr. Prince.
Thank you. Honorable Eddie, the CDC is doing her groundbreaking on the 18th. Tell the Liberian people, why is it significant? Why is it important? Why is it that sedition have attached so much importance to this particular groundbreaking? When we say it's just groundbreaking, just break the ground and then just move on there. No need to cause noise. Why is it very, very significant that Liberian must pay close attention to this particular groundbreaking ceremony? Tell us, sir.
So basically, this moment is not only a groundbreaking ceremony. This moment is to ensure to reawaken the minds of our Liberian people that the existing reality of our country, the untold suffering of the Liberian people that have been instituted by Unity Party, must come to an end. And that is why Liberian citizens will be converging to build their own political party's headquarters. This political party headquarters and CDC is the only monumental instrument that Liberian citizens see as their hope. It is the only instrument that citizens sees as a paradigm shift of transformation that Mr. Boakai and the Unity Party have destroyed our country for in a short space of time. And that is why our groundbreaking ceremony will be a very historic one, and Liberian from all across all world of life are excited in contributing. No, Prince, it was interesting to note. I saw today from the party headquarters when I call in to talk to feed of the comrades from our temporary headquarters. I saw our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents was online trooping the way at the party headquarters to pay dollar. They are sent to the contributions of the party headquarters. I say, wow, the CDC will never die. The party is a party of history. It's a party of men. Because Munampeno young blood struggle for this movement. And that is why the party will never die. Jeans Gray struggle for the movement. Morris Command. And the list go on and on. Struggle for the movement. And that's why the party will remain alive. And our people are on an obligation to see this party remain alive. Our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, comrades in arms are on an obligation to see this party alive. So this program is historic to the extent that Liberia will be celebrating. Liberia will be inaugurating first time in the history to have a political party to have their own party headquarters. The Unity Party was established 40 years ago. They have never obtained a land. A land. The Unity Party have never obtained a land. So sometimes I listen to these Unity Party crooks, they're strapping the CDC and giving too many derogatory comments against the CDC regarding party headquarters are live. You have been in existence for a piece of land. You haven't bought a piece of land for a party headquarters. 40 years you have been in existence, more than 20 years in power, almost 20 years in power. Not a piece of land you have bought. So The CDC will be inaugurating the first political party ever in the history of our country to have a party headquarters, and it is our own. People felt that when you destroy the Sycamore tree, that means you have destroyed the CDC. But then guess what? We're going to plant another Sycamore tree there. We are going
Thank
to
you.
plant another Sycamore tree there. It is a place where we believe in. It's where we feel comfortable. It is why the Liberian people feel pleasure. I mean, to be. It is the
Thank
party
you.
of the masses. It is the
Thank you so
package of
much,
our people.
Honorable.
And that's why we'll be with our institution. And so
Thank you.
CDC, our CDC inaugurating on the 18th, as we inaugurate our new political party headquarters, it's a new dance of political, it's a new political trend. It's a new dance of new political history. It's a new dance of new political approach. We'll begin to confront the Unity Party. And we'll bring Mr. Boakai and his gangster to public. The needs will be brought to the public. We expose the tyrants, the tyrannies of the government. We expose the corruptions of the government. And the people will make decisions. And that's why the decision will not be made by us. It is the people that are going to make the decision. If you
Thank
go in
you.
the market, it is the people in the market who will make the decision.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Charles. Thank you so much. Fellow Liberians, to just conclude on this issue, the party headquarters, like all of the others have said, it's not just a party headquarters, it's not just a building. What we will be doing on the 18th represents what we call the struggle of the masses against dictators. Is the struggle and the victory of the masses against what we refer to as bad governance. Is the struggle. It shows the symbol. That particular event that will be happening is what we refer to as the triumphant entry of the common man into the body politics of Liberia. For a very long time, the ordinary people were being denied of opportunity to participate. For a very long time, the ordinary people has been ostracized. CDC as a political party they've stigmatized the party. Oh, that's also grown up children and down there. Oh, that's also this, that. Oh, the people then they get set. Oh, the people then they are not educated. So for the fact that that event will be happening, it's a proof that when given an opportunity, like any other person, we too can do better. Fellow Liberians, we saw what happened during the 6 years of the CDC led administration. You saw young people, you saw the ordinary people from communities that they told you that these people will amount to nothing. They can't handle government. The people then, in fact, they are novice, they are this, they don't have the requisite education to be able to ensure that this government be successful. But today, look at what we are seeing. You took over from people, quote unquote, who you say they were unqualified, they had no governmental experience. But look at you that have 12 years counting governmental experience. Look at how you are struggling. You took over, according to you, you took over from amateurs. Yo, the people they begin forget about them, man. They begin where we have to the extent that this way we are just one control them. That's why you just bring people there. You just bring the beginner around because you want control them. But you took over from these people. Look at how you are struggling to even get your foot on the ground. You can't make it. Nothing at all Boakai can point to that. Yeah, we took over the period of 2 years. These are our handmark. You are still struggling to to complete the project. That these people you condemn, you say they know about government, they know nothing. You stay struggling to even match up to them. Fellow Liberians, what will be happening on the 18th is the triumphant entry of the common man into the body politics of Liberia. We are showing to the world that we too, we can use our clean money. And I want to be grateful that the building of our headquarters did not happen when we were in government. Imagine what they were going to say. Oh, yeah, President, we have finished seeing the money. The men are high, own money, pay, own how they say that the Liberian people money he carry. How much more than the party headquarters? But thank God that this party headquarters will be built by your money, by my money, by our money. When you pass there, that party headquarters will reflect. It will reflect your image for what we refer to as good governance, for your participation in government. Fellow Liberians, I want to encourage all of us. This is an opportunity. Your $5, your $10, your $15, your $16, your whatever, get ready. When you pass by that building, let the building reflect you. And the good thing is that is the massive project. It's not from how you call government money or from government coffers. So you will have nothing to say to us. When you pass there, you will see your picture in that particular building. I want to encourage all of us. Whatever we can do, let us do it in order to ensure that this project is a reality. And you know President Weah, he's a man that when he promises, he does the unusual. Like one of our colleagues will say. He does the unusual. He don't promise what he can give. When he tell you that he will do, it means he will do. So again, we want to say thanks to each and every one of you. We are sorry that we can't go, rushing. So we are sorry for the time, but be rest assured that next week is going to be a wonderful time. I want to thank each and every one of you. The platform is growing on a daily basis. And it's
So,
because of you, because you
yeah.
are sharing, you are commenting, and etc. So I want to say thank you. Honorable Dogwayu, it's over to you, sir.
So we on conclusion now, right?
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much today. Thanks for the topic, Prince. If you want us to make some adjustment, we can talk about it in the time to see whether we next week we'll have some conversation. But thanks to all of you. Thanks to Naomi for watching.
We have a caller here. We want to take this caller. Maybe we can get a caller 30 seconds.
Take a caller.
Yeah. Let's. I'm sorry that beginning next week we'll start to take call. We have a time for it. But let's take this caller. Caller, your name. Hello. Where are you calling us from? Take the next 30 seconds. Let's hear from you, sir.
Prince, this is Abraham Connor calling from New Jersey. Let me say thanks for the effort, man. You guys are doing a wonderful job. And let me say, man with ideas. I guess that should be Randa Dubayu, right?
Yeah.
Is that the pronunciation? Okay.
Yeah, Dubayu.
I mean, the younger generation, you guys are doing a great job. Let me say hands up to you guys on that. One thing I just wanted to highlight here. You talk about God's blessing that CDC did not use power or state power to build party headquarters. I think it was indeed a good thing. But I just want to highlight this. The history would never, ever be kind to Unity Party if they use this time around now to even contemplate or initiate the erection of a party headquarters. History will never be kind to them. It's always going to be reported that it's state resources that they will or are contemplating on using to erect a party headquarters. So I just wanted to point that out. Because in the long run, those are things that will be pointed out. For 40 years, if you couldn't do it, you can't do it now. Because while they want to replicate everything that CDC is doing or intend to do. But history will not be kind to that if they should even do such. I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Honorable Dogwayu, it's over to you.
Yeah, thanks to our dear brother. Thanks to you for your support. We are glad to be here. So in my conclusion, we'd like to say thanks to you for your listening audience, fellow Liberians. This is the redemption hour. They lied to you that they were coming to rescue our country. Instead of rescuing our country, they are draining our country. Now they have drained our country to the extent that the blind man is seeing and the deaf man is hearing. They have drained our country to the extent that no food to eat, no clothes to wear. People are fading away. University Labrador, they are protesting. Nothing is happening in the country. Police is butchering the law. Our international partners are embarrassed. Joseph Boakai is being driven from on stage. He cannot stage manage himself. Our country, the only achievement is multitudinous memorandum of understanding. Nothing has changed. Kumi talks about it. They are insulting his structure. They are insulting his personality. This is the government we have. It is because of the government's colossal failure. It is because of the government naked ineptitude that we have gathered here under the Palava Hut to create the redemption hour. There is the redemption hour has a redemption squad, and the redemption squad is a squad that is here as a decisive response team. Of course, fellow Liberians, beyond the redemption hour is at hand. And on the redemption hour, our people, we gave them the answer to respond to the hallowed promises of Joseph Boakai. This is a circle cutting through the tales of weeds and deceit of the Unity Party. We are here to unearth the hard stone of truth and to plant a new seed of hope for our people. Here on the redemption hour at the Palava Hut, we shall gather the funniest minds, including Eddie Abubakar Ba, Avin Wisem, to kindle the spirit of truthfulness, the strength of nationalism, looking in the faces of the power that be with our bare hands, to unclothe and engage them with our intellectual powers, to hold the failing regime to their feet with fire, the fires of ideas, and will vow to do this continuously. We have the unwavering spirit to mirror ourselves as the credo of a better society, reflecting the decisions of a good society. So, fellow Liberians, do not be worried. This platform is not just a mail stage, I can tell you. This is the people's megaphone. This is where we gather to join voices to echo change, and real-change and redemption. So join us on this redemption Palava Hut. Join us to be a redeemer, to redeem our country from rape, to reduce our country from lack of proper governance, to reduce our country from high U.S. rate, to redeem our country from mass poverty and looting and fake promises of yellow machine. Join us on the Redeemer Hour so that we will educate, inform, and entertain our people. Thank you for today. We'll see you next week, Monday. Thank you very much. God bless you and God bless our country.
Thank you so much. About Eddie, it's over to
Thank,
you for your parting comments, sir.
thank you, Prince. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks to Ronald Dobayu. I like to appreciate everybody, and I like to appreciate our audience and people who make their comments, people who are following uh, on this platform. I like to say thank you so much. We have governors, our people, our intellectuals, our brothers on this platform to ensure that we checkmate the Unity Party, to identify the illegal operations of the government, and to ensure that our people can be redeemed. And that is why it's called the Redemption Hour. We'll remain on this platform to unleash our thought and ideas as to how Mr. Boakai and his field government are proceeding and provide a remedy for the Liberian people. Of course, the Liberian people now have realized, they have seen the difference between the CDC government and that of the Unity Party government. They have seen the absolute dichotomy. Since Mr. Boakai took power, Mr. Boakai cannot pinpoint to one project, a single project that the Unity Party have ratified, and is ongoing by the Unity Party government. They don't have the guts to show a project. All of the projects that the Unity Party is parading and unveiling and groundbreaking are projects that have been initiated, have been executed, have been implemented by the CDC-led government. And so we challenge the Unity parties. We challenge Mr. Baka. Today we're interested to know, Prince Sharif, the private jet that the Unity Party paraded in this country as a propaganda tools that Mr. Weah was wrong to use private jet. This private jet now have become Mr. Bwaga driving tools. In fact, for even Mr. Bwaga to go in your hometown, he will have to use private jet. Mr. Bwaga does not use car to go in your hometown. When former President Weah was driving to even go Lofa, he would drive on the road. The masses on the town, the villages, benefited from Mr. Weah, because to just see a presidential convoy tilling on the road, it's a joyous moment for our people. And sometimes the president will have to stop a vehicle to interact with the people. In Bapolu, it happened. In Nimba, it happened. In Granjida, President Weah stopped. All over the country, when President Weah traveling in Liberia, he used the road. Mr. Bwaka now these days have become the new pilot of private jet. It's an abattoir of private jet. Mr. Bwaka now, there's nowhere Mr. Bwaka will go with all private jet. It was saddened today that some Mr. Bwaka he have brought in another very luxurious private jet. From the estimate, they say around 1 to 200,000 just to use a private jet for an hour. It's unfortunate. It's disgraceful. It's embarrassing. What is the justification for the Unity Party? Oh, now the Unity Party is arguing that a private jet now is very necessary for presidential movement. Under President Weah, it was a taboo that when President Weah used private jet, it's a violation of presidential ethic. But now it is not a violation of presidential ethic. But when Mr. Boakai go to the legislature and said that a legislators are hooligans, it's not a violation of presidential ethic or a violation of a cross of the separations of power. You went to the legislature, the first branch of government, you insulted legislators. Consider the guys as a hooligans. The first branch of government. In fact, in government, the first people that should be given respect and reverence must be the executive, the legislator. Now, not you. You work at the wills and the whims and caprices of the national legislature. They have the authority to impeach you, but you disrespected those people. And that has been your constant habit, Mr. Boakai. You have disrespected, you have violated our constitution, you abrogated every code of conduct of our country. Grossly violated the constitution illegally. You look at a seated speaker. The Supreme Court came out overruling the opinion from the Supreme Court decision. You butchered the decisions of the Supreme Court. You said that the Supreme Court is immaterial. It's immaterial. You break the entire systems of governance. The issues of check and balance, there's no existence of check and balance anymore. This time, we have not seen no public official, no ministers of government have been cross-examined by legislators. Our legislature now, they don't have the moral grounds to cross-examine our public minister. It's because Mr. Boakai have succeeded, the Unity Party have succeeded in destroying the functional systems of the three branches of government. This is why we are in today. You have destroyed the entire ethical voice, the moral voices of our country. Where are the moral voices? The Unity Party have succeeded in destroying, Mr. Boakai have succeeded in destroying the moral voices of our country.
Thank you.
Iman Kraid, a tough-talking moral voice under the CDC government was given space to criticize Mr. Weah. But now Iman Kraid have lost the moral grounds. The moral ground. Where is the weakness women? The weakness women. All these moral voices of our country have been destroyed. The churches, the Muslim Council, the religious grouping, all these moral voices have been demoralized by the Unity Party government. And that is why the platform have been available. In conclusion, and that is why the platform have been available for us to ensure that we can bring these arguments, these issues, these violations, these illegal operations to light. Checkmate this government. Bring the government official, identify the ambiguity in laws, the violations in law, and ensure that the people who make a rational judgment comes 2029. And I can assure Mr. Boakai and the Unity Party, in 2029, Mr. Gregory Como must be packing his bag. I can assure Mr. Gregory Como not only packing his bag, he will pay for the unspecified consequences, death that he has inflicted on the Liberian people. The illegal operation, the illegal killings of the Liberian people, he will pay for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Tarrell. I want to say thank you so much. Fellow Liberians, we want to thank each and every one of you. Like we said, we are sorry because of the time. We should really be going for 2 hours and not, in the mood that we are going, but because we didn't start our normal time. But again, we want to say thanks to each and every one of you. Beginning Monday, let's get ready. But this evening again, we will be on, hopefully by 7:30 to 8, we will be on. Please follow the page. It's under the Palava Hut. Subscribe to the page, follow the page, share the page. Until we meet again, Honorable Doga, you want to say thank you. And to all of the listeners, thank you. And have yourself a God bless day from our end. Bye.
We remain. They thought
ground.
We are supreme, the mighty CDC. CDC.
The DMV convention is going to be October 25th.
Can see, but truth will set us free. Laugh if you want, but wait and see.
We will not allow small children to tell market when they should be in school. They should be in school. We will not allow those young ladies to go in the street all day yourself. The money you make can't even buy rice. We can't do it. We want to put dignity on our people. And that's why we're here. That's the mission we have. And I can assure you, if you check your calendar, it's exactly 4 months from today. Today is the 10th, right? When is the election? You start checking. 4 months to the date. After 4 months, you will see a new Liberia coming up. You see a Liberia that will give you hope. You see a Liberia where corruption will be thing of the past.